isn't bad by any means, but BG Man had actually been a pretty decent, upgrade from Angry X, and he was really a catalyst for Elevate, bringing back Stage 2. So, I don't know, I'm definitely worried about them. That being said, I think they can weather the storm. It's not like they're bringing in somebody that hasn't played with them much, or like they're having to rely on a coach. He was a part of the roster for Stage 1, and even for 3 maps of Stage 2.
Yeah, look, I think that the worst part of this roster change is the fact that we've already seen Elevate a little bit knocked off their game in that opening series today, in that loss against Dam1, and that's exactly been the case against Invictus in the past. When Elevate are not quite on, that's when they really start to slip and it starts to spiral into an avalanche. But here we are, through that map ban phase, rather op ban phase. Invictus love banning the Mav here on Club, which means we're going to see the Thatcher. But the one that's a bit uncommon there is the Gridlock. Now, Hysterics is playing so much Gridlock, Elevate are actually banning it instead of the Nomad.
It's interesting, but look, we were seeing a bit of Gridlock being brought recently, so maybe that's just what they want to go for. I am going to question again, we kind of did this yesterday, when Thatcher was left up. There was just so many strong bans on the attack side for Clubhouse. I feel like the Gridlock one is a waste, in my opinion, but I don't know, happy to be proven wrong here. I'm just surprised to see Thatcher left in. Certainly is going to help Elevate here in the first half, having that available.
This should be a very predictable op ban veto for Elevate, as Invictus always ban Mav and Wamai on this map. I think that Invictus won't be too unhappy with that Gridlock ban. The thing is, Elevate always used to ban the Nomad. They love going for those flanks, so they like to get rid of that flank watch. And of course, banning Gridlock instead does mean that that Nomad is still in. But we'll see when Invictus eventually switch over to their attack how they deal with that. For now, it is Elevate on their attack. We're going to have to see how good they are at utilizing that Thatcher. While, in a way, Thatcher can be just a nice set and forget. You don't want to underestimate how difficult it can be sometimes to play these mini games. I'm thinking mainly that CCTV wall, even sometimes these hatches, which can be juggled by the Kaib. We've seen that from Invictus before as well. So I'm curious to see. I think we'll get an indication very early, Raven, whether Elevate is here to play or whether they're rattled after that early loss and this unexpected roster change.
Yeah, super keen to see how this does transpire. And to your point, yeah, look, we've seen a lot of really just good stuff in general from Invictus over this playoffs. And the other one that's standing out for me is Luna on this Clash. On multiple maps, he's actually had such a good impact just by feeding info to his teammates, being an absolute hassle with that Electro Shield. It has been phenomenal to see, honestly. And I think this is going to be an interesting little test for Elevate to deal with.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb.
And a test with high stakes at that. Both of these teams are first in line for a spot at the Mexico Major. Only one left for APAC. They're going to have to fight it out. The only reason both of these teams, well, either of these teams, are playing in this playoffs is because Invictus beat Elevate on Playday 7. If Elevate had won that match in APAC South, then Elevate would have qualified straight to Mexico without having to play playoffs, and Invictus would have been dead last in the league. They wouldn't have even made it here. So this is another important opportunity for revenge for Elevate, and an important opportunity for Invictus to show us that it was all worth it.
Absolutely. Now, early opening of Dirt here using exothermic charge is going to be something that Invictus Gaming are going to have to really think about. Of course, they do have Luna playing deep up that Dirt tunnel to try and keep it at bay. Jordan behind to support. Doesn't look like Elevator interested in hard pushing it yet. They're just going to continue going through, opening what is needed, opening these hatches, getting vertical plays, get this line of sight. Does all take quite a lot of time. That is why Church Arsenal can be a really tricky bomb site to attack.
It's been good progress so far for Elevate. Less than half the round done, and they're making good work on that kitchen hatch using Hibana. That said, there's an Electroclaw down there, which is going to make us a little bit slower. Usually a nade would make swift work of that, or perhaps an EMP from Thatcher. Onigiri still has one left, and as he rotates over, that's likely what we'll see now.
Getting down to this final minute, and we're still yet to see an engagement really happen at all between the two teams. which is always going to make the end a little bit hectic. Now, that's really big from Napier there. He's opened that rush wall into the back of Armoria, has given Elevate just that extra option for plant. Church wall looked like it's going to be a real struggle to deal with, on top of the fact I'm actually not sure they have much hard breach left. Maybe just some X-Kairos. They do still have an exothermic charge, so it could be an option, but there is still utility to clear. And with just under 40 seconds to go right now, Dev, I think it's going to be a bit of a tough execute to squeeze out here for Elevate.
Surely it's got to be a kitchen drop here. 30 seconds to go. Look at the smokes down long, and as you said, that rush wall was the point of ingress for Elevate. As they start getting this plant down, IG have absolutely no clue. Sapper can get that diffuser planted and find a kill on the back of it as well. Hysterics, no speakeasy to find the kill. That said, things are getting hectic here in the post plan as Elevate make it a 2 versus 2. With post-plant positions quite strong, Luna may well be able to cut down Angry X. A great 2 versus 1. But now it's all on DCH. Can the Clash cover? That's the question. This could be a fantastic opportunity, but he has the angle, and DCH may well have clutched this. IG will have to long arm it. Valiant effort here from Luna, but he's gonna have to stick it. Surely DCH, he's got to get him, he hit him in the foot, but it's not enough. What a clutch from Luna.
Oh dear. Oh dear. That is pretty unfortunate for Elevate, but look, massive play from Luna. In general, like 2 times Big Brain tried to block the long arm attempt in the first place. Just fortunate for Elevate that they were able to shut that down, but no, they let it slip. I don't know, I'm really surprised that DCH kind of pulled off the angle in the first place. There was only about 10 seconds left on that defuse time. Once he took it to the 1v1, there's only so much Luna's going to be able to do in 3 seconds as a Clash in terms of trying to get the pick and then defuse. So, look, unfortunate there, but great first round from both teams, really. This is a great benchmark for what this series could look like.
Yeah, it certainly is. It is just already starting with an exciting round like that. Oh man, I don't know if I've got the endurance to get through this one, but we're gonna have to. Could well be a long night. You know, we haven't had a single best of 3 go to all the 3 maps, and maybe this will be the first in the playoffs to do so. I've got to wonder, is that a little bit of a tilter for Elevate when they get clutched on like that?
I reckon it would be, honestly, because they actually did a really great job getting into the position to get the plant down in the first place. Without Invictus having a chance to think about the denial, I think by the time that plant actually was confirmed, it was maybe a 4v5 in that instance. And Elevate did start to move to some really great post-plant positions. I think overall, yeah, they really should have locked that round in. I don't think it's caused to be tilted yet, only the first round of the entire series, but not a great sign.
I think the minigames here on CCTV will be more difficult for Elevate compared to what we saw downstairs. Gonna have to make sure that this hard breach is on point. They have brought 3 hard breaches. And no Thatcher. Wait, what? No Thatcher? Alright, look, that's fair enough. I'm very curious to see how they're gonna clear all this wall denial. You know, we've got mute jammers on the garage walls. And of course that bandit juggling the CCTV wall. At least a pick is something to work with.
Yeah, it's definitely going to help give themselves that man advantage. You know what? There's every chance they might have just forgotten. You know, I don't think many teams would be used to being able to bring Thatcher, just given the extent that he is banned on this map. And, you know, high pressure situations, sometimes it happens. That was a nasty little angle from Luna. Didn't quite hit the headshot though, so Sapper managed to survive the engagement. And to your point, Dev, I think this is where Elevate are going to struggle a little bit, is just clearing the wall denial to do what they would like to do. We're already seeing half the round expired here. Candle's wall still closed. Still a lot of precarious positions held by Invictus Gaming. I think this is going to be tough to make work for Elevate right now.
Here we go. Napew's going to come in through and try and clear off these bandit batteries. That said, Hysterics hadn't even put any down yet, and he's ready to juggle. This gunfight could be pivotal. But Hysterics is quite lucky to survive that one. On come the Selmas, and out goes Hysterics.
Down to the final minute now, so at least they did get that kennels wall open. Luna, has he been spotted under the stairs? He has by that drone. He's not going to contest. Just going to go back through oil. Now this is where it starts to get a bit scary for Elevate. They have to start prepping this execute properly. Joe is still hanging out on Catwalk. They don't have a breach in Con. Hysterix is actually aggressive here in Con, Dev. I think this is going to be a very tough little 30 seconds here. IG, they pounce.
So difficult for Elevate to march forward from this position. A good old 1-on-4 for Sapper now. Just about no chance, 20 seconds left, 5-5-6. Has not even used an exothermic charge. And he's just looking for freebies at the moment. Invictus gonna double down early on in the game. And I do wonder, as much as this has been a strong start from Invictus, this is Elevate fallen asleep. He isn't even afforded a single kill. Joe doesn't give him the respect, just swings him.
That was like a pick me bait kind of shot. And he was like, yeah, okay. Oh my lord. No, look, that was a really rough attack from Elevate. Hard to say exactly whether it was simply because they forgot to bring Thatcher, or maybe they just had more of a grand plan with the 3 hard breaches. But to your point, Dev, they didn't use a single exothermic charge. So I don't know what really went wrong there, but they look like they just struggled from the start of the round onwards. They just didn't get things open early enough to be able to then work on the map control. The fact that there was still a player in Rafters for the entirety of that round, even though they opened kennels, just, I don't know, very messy and a very big missed opportunity, given that Cash CC is the most likely for attackers to win at the moment in Clubhouse.
Yeah, look, I don't know what to say for Elevate at the moment. It's not that they're a bad team, right? We know how good they are, but they just look rattled. Like, if I'm honest right now, Raven, like that second round, it just looked like they were exhausted. Like they were confronted with a problem. Oh crap, we didn't bring the right operators. And I'm sure that they're used to playing with Mav, right? Like, I think Maverick is very much on meta. Everyone just bans Thatcher on this map, so everyone kind of gets comfy at just using the Mav instead. Invictus have been really enjoying banning it. We've seen it throw off teams like Fav in the past. And as soon as Elevate were hit with that, they just kind of stalled, and they didn't really have a good way at just kind of working through the problems and identifying solutions. And I'm worried, Raven, that that's going to become a trend here.
Definitely worried. That being said, you know, this is Invictus' map pick. Elevator on attack. Granted, Thatcher is up, so like in theory the attacks should be simpler. Again, not necessarily easier, but simpler. Once again though, they haven't brought Thatcher. Not really sure what that's about. Yeah, I don't know. Definitely concerning signs, but at the end of the day, it is Invictus' map pick. Sometimes you do just weather your opponents and just get ready for map number 2.
Yeah, certainly a bit early to be calling it and conceding that much, so I surely hope Elevate have a lot more in the tank here. And at some point, we've got to stop making excuses for them, as I'm sure they're not going to be making any excuses for themselves. Now, fortunately, there are ways to clear util off this external wall without the Thatcher here, and it looks like that's happened. I'm pretty sure that exothermic was, oh my god, Speakeasy. Did he have info? Like, was default cam up or something? How did he know that that player was right there on the bikes? How do you win that?
Just classic Speakeasy things, I guess. Don't know. Maybe they did have info. Couldn't quite tell from the fly through there. Thanks for trying their odds. But yeah, not a great start for Elevate, losing on a Geary early. Hysterix has been tagged a little bit here in kitchen hallway, but just at every point right now, IG are checking Elevate. They're not allowing them to really get this map progress. Too easy. And yeah, look, they've lost a player in the process.
See what Napew can do with the skeleton key downstairs, trying to flush out these positions in logistic from kitchen, but he's about to get flanked. See how aggressive Hysterix gets here, because it may well be too late. Now, there is a possibility for a run out here, but I don't think he's going to go for it. He's actually tempted. Surely he makes this run. Ah, it's too late.
Yeah, he's missed the op, and on top of that, Elevate have actually been able to find Speakeasy. But Look at the time, just under 40 seconds here. Again, Elevate really just not giving themselves much, I don't know, much of an opening to really make comfortable executes. They're just having to rely on absolute chaos now. As we get to the final 20 seconds, that is basically what we're going to find.
See what Elevate can pull out of the hat. Joe gets an aggressive position, and the logistics collapse isn't super fruitful. Jordan does secure that kill. Traded Hysterics with a C4. And now it's on Sapper once again. Poor guy's got a clutch up. Only 2 players to find, but that's a tall order. They do peek him, and he is shut down. A clean sweep, 3 rounds in a row for Invictus.
Ever since the first round too, Elevate just haven't felt that in it. You know, first round Church Arsenal, really, again, to go back to that, it really seemed like it should have been their round, and all of a sudden they're looking at a 0-3 start to this map. Not great. Gonna have to bounce back here. Good to see Thatcher back in the lineup. Of course, they are desperately going to need that on the Church Arsenal attack because, yeah, this is certain utility is going to be really painful to deal with without Kaid, and especially because that Mavericks bans. Yeah. We'll see whether they can bounce back a bit better this time around.
I'm not going to lie, Raven, this has been pretty underwhelming so far. Like, where is Elevate? Where is the Stage 1 champions? Where are the best team out of Thailand and the guys who have shut down Invictus time and time again in the last 6 months?
Interesting that IG are bringing this Warden. Like, I'm genuinely surprised. I mean, I guess if there's some chaotic executes, or even the smoke that they used, I guess, for the main hole, you could use this Warden to counter? Oh, very curious to see how this pans out. I think we saw it yesterday from IG, if I'm not mistaken.
5 seconds left.
I don't actually remember exactly.
Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
Well, wait and see whether Elevate can finally turn this around. And see whether they can get a round on the board. I feel like it's just so needed at the moment, Dev, because their confidence has to be hit a little bit after that first series.
Yeah, no, 100%. Certainly playing like a shadow of their former selves, of their usual selves. And even just looking at their operator lineups that they've been doing for a little while, like the last couple of rounds, you can kind of tell that they're a bit shaken. Like this Thatcher, they had it and they didn't have it. Onigiri has been switching. You know, he played Hard Breach, he played Zafir. Napew's had the Zafir, and now Angry X has got the Zafir. Like, I do wonder, is this a little bit just kind of being dejected after that initial loss, and partly losing BG Man? You know, he's got internet problems. He can't play in this incredibly pivotal match, like the culmination of Elevate's entire season, and they don't have their starting roster. They've got to play with Angry X subbing in.
Definitely, it's got to be frustrating, but speak of the man, he's found the opening pick this round.
Oh, he missed it!
Yeah, they have missed that Electric Claw trick as well, so look, this is a good first 90 seconds here from Elevate. Again, giving themselves a pretty good opportunity to close this round, but we saw it last time. The execute was good, but they couldn't hold the post plant.
Did get very close, however. And also that was a 5v5 plan execute. Let's see if Elevate can do a little bit better with this man advantage. Angry X, everyone loves this LMG now. It's like M762 is friendship ended. The LMGE is my new best friend. Thanks to that nerf that unfortunately their assault rifle has received. People are gonna have to learn.
Yeah, look, LMG is great, honestly. It's pretty strong. A lot of bullets. Some rounds you won't even have to reload if you're that efficient. As we come down to this last 45 seconds, again, Elevate, they have given themselves a pretty decent setup here. Conversely though, Invictus Gaming, really good positioning. They've still got some ability to deny here, and Jordan's just made a leg deep to Arsenal. He gets punished for that. Elevate, this is a great opportunity to get their first round.
Speakeasy's got something to say about it and takes down Angry X. He's holding on to blue here, and he could do a lot more damage. Onigiri shut down. 2 versus 2 with 15 seconds on the clock, and Hysterix has found an aggressive position. Elevate come to life and shut them down, and they finally find their first round of the match.
It's going to help a lot. And honestly, if they manage to get even just 2 rounds in this half, I say that's really not that bad. Especially considering how the last 2 rounds have gone. But here's the thing. Of all 4 rounds that we've seen so far, the only ones that have looked good have been the Church Arsenal attacks on Elevate's part. Their cache CCTV attack and their gym bedroom attacks both left a lot to be desired. So this is certainly going to be a telling round. Hopefully they can clean some of this up. Big positive, Dev. I see a Thatcher.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly helps on this cache CCTV bomb side. I think this is going to be one of the most challenging for us and for Elevate, I guess, in the match. I think that, like, looking at their gym bedroom, you can kind of get away with no Mav. Looking at the basement, they can probably get away with no Mav, but it's here that, like, the bandit juggle, it's all going to be quite difficult. I like they're bringing the Capitao, though. I think that might be their response.
Yeah, I do like that. I mean, we saw yesterday, Hysterix was just putting on an absolute clinic with the bandit tricking that he was doing. Actually, it was insane how accurate he was getting it, and we saw the difficulty that was creating for these attacking teams. So I like the use of the Capitao to counter that, on top of the fact they're going to have the Thatcher. I think that will make opening Candle's Wall a lot simpler, and maybe that will allow them to have a lot more progression in their attack.
Yeah, I sure hope so. It looks like Elevate are just taking a little bit of time to warm up, but I think they are starting to turn up now. Like, just looking at the fact that their operator lineup's finally looking a bit more tight, and the fact that they won that last round, a little bit of extra confidence. That said, IG is certainly not lacking confidence either. When we see plays like this from Jordan, he's actually tempted to vault out.
Here comes the big test. They've got DCH in position. They've got their hard breaches in position. Beautifully executed. Look at that. Sapper is going to get this wall open. 40 seconds. Nothing like last time, but Hysterix just peeks the window. And poor DCH, he's in the line of sight, and that is going to be Invictus taking that opening kill.
Yeah, I think really well played from Invictus. They knew where the Capitao was, and Hysterix was the one hard countered by that utility. He says, look, you can take my precious wall away, but I'm going to take your life. That said, at least, like you say, Elevate do have that really pivotal breach open. Hysterix is doing a bit of damage downstairs now here. Roaming in bar, constantly poised for a bit of a flank, and also preventing Napew from really taking control of stock. Starting to get that vert happening.
It's definitely going to be dangerous. He does like to loom and sit on some of those deep roams for a very long time, and we see it time and time again that Hysterix can really make an impact. So this is going to have to be something that Elevate are certainly careful of. But now what's really important is to restructure where they're pushing. Hysterix has been caught by that front door peek, and that is really big from Elevate to be able to close that one out to bring it to be 4 versus 4. Joe has answered back for IG, and this setup for this execute again is starting to get a bit sketchy here for Elevate.
Yeah, Napew just can't land the shot. Jordan's so low. Elevate needs some kind of an opening here. Onigiri might be able to find it. Very, very nice shot there. Oh, the refrag attempt from Speakeasy. Onigiri's ready for that. Really nice attempt there from Invictus. They are incessant. They just don't stop. And they turn this into a 2-on-1. Onigiri needs to clutch up. He doesn't have that diffuser. And he doesn't really have a chance to find these 2 picks. They're just camping it. They've gone all the way downstairs. What a play from IG. Even should Onigiri be able to get that diffuser, surely there's no way he gets this plant off. He's got to go for the kills. And they're so spread out. There's just no way this works. Luna rounds the corner. Invictus. A very strange, but very well played round.
Yeah, it was. Elevate again just proving to struggle on some of these other attacks. They did a great job getting Candle's Wall open. You know, that was a much tidier start to that attack. But from mid-round onwards, it kind of just fell apart. You know, Hysterix was a thorn in their side. Once they managed to shut him down, though, the other IG players really stepped up that aggression. And, of course, unfortunate, Diffuser getting dropped down in Lounge is never going to help.
Yeah, it's funny, really, because despite Elevate playing that well, Invictus... I just love the way that every time they're like, okay, if Elevate get an advantage, immediately we bite back and we bite down as hard as we can. And if we get punished, we just...
Rex is in the roster, and whether that will stick for map 2 as well.
Yeah, Elevate are not at full power right now, and Invictus are taking advantage. But as you say, this is the pivotal moment, right? Like a 2-4 attack for Elevate's nothing to complain about, right? It's not too bad at all, and I'm sure that they could just produce a strong defense and tie it up shortly. A 5-1, however, would be unacceptable.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Wouldn't be great. No, it really wouldn't be great. And again, yeah, with the bans, you would think that maybe attack would be more comfortable, more simple. Again, not going to say easier, not always the case. But at the end of the day, yeah, I would think with these bans that a 2-4 attack half, even 3-3 would be the par that you'd be aiming for. And a 1-5 would certainly be devastating.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Just in general though, Invictus Gaming through this playoff bracket have just continued to grow and become stronger as a team, and they're showing already that they can bring it today, and I'm very concerned for the rest of the series, honestly, for Elevate if this continues. Feels like we're heading towards an Invictus Gaming Mexico major
Attackers'
appearance.
objective is to defuse a bomb.
What a story it would be for Invictus from potentially bottom of APAC South all the way to Mexico. And let's be real here, the most important games that we've seen from Invictus always seem to be against Elevate. They always are. It feels like these two teams are just fated to be together in one way or another, constantly battling each other with the highest possible stakes.
Could definitely be such a sad story for Elevate as well. I mean, like, we've already prefaced this a bit, but really thinking about it, 3 opportunities to seize an invite to the major. If they don't get this one, that is just going to feel so awful for them. But it's just the nature of the game. It's the nature of competing. You've got to be on point. You've got to seize those opportunities. Of course, they're still not out of it. It's only map 1 in a BO3 series. It's only the first half. They managed to get this attack.
Attackers have located a
They
bomb.
are certainly still in this game.
One last chance though on their attacking side. Let's see what they can do here on Jim. They did struggle on their first attack of this bomb site, but a bit of early damage is always nice. I like this setup from Invictus though. A lot of shields, a lot of well-fortified positions on site. Good information from Elevate though. They know that Logi is clear. I wonder, like, they could almost take control at this early point in the round. But they're slowly and steadily working on this map control.
They are, and that's going to help taking out Jordan, giving themselves that man advantage, the opening pick. Also, it looks like they're going to be able to get cash control now.
Ooh,
Luna on an
look at this.
aggressive rotate, but it's shut down by Napier. A big pick, because that would have been quite deadly. And this is looking good for Elevate right now, as Speakeasy has been tagged. Hysterics down. This is looking like it's going to be Elevate's second round. My gosh.
First round on Jim though, so that's
Yes.
something. And it looks like Elevate have read into Invictus really well. We were talking just last round about the way when Invictus are at a deficit, they just go harder. And Elevate have read that. Always, always cautious, and they polish off the final 2 picks with ease. That does make for a 4-2 half in favor of Invictus, but Elevate given a lifeline here.
They have. Look, that was definitely a good way to end it. It was their best attack by far, I would say. And, you know, 2-4 half isn't that bad. Get 2 quick defenses on Clubhouse, totally achievable. Scores a level then. And you can really just think about trying to close it out at that stage. So, yeah, look, not going to write Elevate out of this one. I think they have this opportunity to bring it back, but we'll see what their defenses have in store for us.
For the first time in a while, Elevate are playing without the Arini band, though. You know, I don't quite know why they've been banning it a whole bunch
Attackers need
recently,
to
but
locate and defuse as
I
many
mean, I guess
bombs as they
especially because they have some really cracked players on Aruni. Like, I don't know. I guess, you know, Aruni is great in a lot of ways, but still quite an uncommon ban. Like to see her here, though. I do wonder whether it'll be more hatch usage for those gates, maybe bottom main stairs. There you go, there's the first one going down bot main.
Now, Rooney is a bit of an interesting one, hey, like, there's so many aspects to Rooney that just... I can see why you would ban her on some occasions. You know, those Surya gates can be a pain if you haven't been able to deal with them early, and of course, it's not like, say, a mute jammer, where you just deal with it early and it's done. You have to time how you deal with it. On top of the fact it burns utility, can impede your entrances, and if you haven't dealt with it, you know, those last second rushes or executes, you can be severely hindered by that. On top of the fact, of course, she does have that punch for rotates or vertical play, just such a versatile operator. We're starting to see more and more teams lean into strats with the Rooney. And yeah, look, I think in some occasions it's a good ban. Yeah. I don't know what else I was going to say. I lost my train of thought, but...
What a good plays you can make, one punching barricades and hatches too. I love doing that.
Yeah.
But it's actually Angry X who's on for the roam at the moment, seemingly alone. Needs to be careful he's not cut off. He actually does manage to get back down main stairs and then back into bathroom again as IG go for this roam clear. It's not a heavy roam by any stretch of the imagination from Elevate. This is not, you know, an SSG style roam. This is just basically a 5-man anchor presence with a bit of aggression. Sapper is helping to bait so that they believe Angry X has gone downstairs. Will they drone him?
Yeah, good question. I liked the pre-fire from bottom main stairs too. I have to say, that was actually kind of close to Joe. But yeah, Sapper has made it back. Angry X still hanging out in the bathroom. We haven't seen a drone come his way yet, and that could be... Nope, not deadly. He's just dead.
Yeah, I mean, surely they knew, or if they didn't know, they were just wary. It's one of the important things, right? Like, if you haven't droned something, you've got to be really, really cautious and just avidly watch that angle. And that in itself is a skill, coordinating that. Let's see how DCH goes with his juggle. We saw Luna was quite successful. Well, I guess he had mixed success on his defense juggling those claws. But I think it's a bit too late now with that thermite charge getting that moto hatch open. And Invictus, while they only have 50 seconds left, they have map control and they have all the hatches open.
They do. Not much time though, so are going to have to get a bit of a move on. Even though there's the man down, I still feel like Elevate are certainly in an advantageous position right here. Speaking of positioning, really good positioning spread out from Elevate to try and have coverage for this execute, and with less than 30 seconds, time for IG to really make their move.
Surely it's going to be a blue play here. Onigiri likely to be the playmaker. He's got that shotgun. The M870 is not good enough for the crossfire, but Sapper almost lands a shot. It's not enough. DCH feeling that pressure as IG storm into church. Sapper can try and salvage this, but with that plant going down, it's all on Sapper. 1 versus 2, and Hysterix has his number. Invictus go up 5-2 in the map.
A lot of whiffs, unfortunately, there on the defense side from Elevate, and IG just proved too strong as they stormed through that execute. Really loved the burst through blue. Once they took out Onigiri, you just saw it was like hitting the go button, and they just stormed into church. Really well played, and now that starts to get, really worrying for Elevate to not have secured that first defense. Now looking at the score gap, 2-5. It does start to get a bit stressful. Invictus are just 1 round away now from being on match point.
Yeah, and it feels like that match point is inevitable. Invictus have built up a lot of momentum here on Clubhouse. We thought maybe it was just their defensive side. Maybe Elevate would have a little bit more success when they were on the defense, and not so. Invictus might have started a bit slow on that attack. We might have criticized them, saying it was potentially a little bit too late in the round for that execute, but as soon as the bell rang, they were in and ready to just collapse, explode onto church. And I feel like we're likely to see that energy once again here on their CCTV attack. Elevate not taking any second chances down below, straight upstairs, and they better hope it works.
Yeah, really
5 seconds remaining.
big risk play here. I mean, I've mentioned it a lot over the weekend, but
Attackers must
Cache
locate and defuse
CCTV
the bomb.
has been a bit of a struggle for the defense, and here they are picking it next. I don't know, I feel like there were so many things that they could have easily fixed on the Church and Arsenal defense, of course reading into it a lot, or even just gone Gym Master. I think this is a very risky choice here from Elevate, but totally they might make this work. We'll wait and see. IG going straight to Kennel's wall to start getting that open certainly is generally priority 1 on these attacks.
Yeah, right after not getting spawn peeked by any angry Thai players.
Very important.
Easy as you like, that wall is blown wide open, just like this bracket has been by Invictus, storming through the lower bracket 2-0, 2-0. And looking like it could well be another. That said, this is Invictus's map. Let's not get too overexcited. I will say though, Elevate not putting up much of a fight here does really bring up some concerns for them. Invictus are gathering momentum more by the second, and Elevate need to slow them down.
Yeah, as you said, really good momentum. Now they're starting to set up the map control over on the Master and Con side. Sapper has just started lurking, doesn't want to go too much deeper, but Angry X is certainly the one that we have to keep our eye on. At this stage, we're not sure whether he's been droned out, not sure whether they know he's on the roam, but he could certainly be a thorn in the side if he is not looked out for. And this drone, another drone as well, all going to help. There it is.
And likely they've got more flank watch drones stacked up there, so they won't have to worry too much. This is just Invictus playing their game. They know the steps that they've got to do to set up for this execute, and they know how to delegate someone to watch for that flank. It's just a matter of time. Less than a minute on the clock, and Invictus, this is the pivotal moment for them as they set up for this execute.
Angry X still looming below, but yeah, just this progress and the confidence of IG is sky high right now. We're not quite finding the toes. 40 seconds. Sterix has finally found that opening pick onto Sapper. This is starting to get deadly for IG. 30 seconds for them to strike and move towards match point.
What a position for Joe as well here on the Kennel's balcony. That said, Elevate opens the exchange and IG respond. A nice C4 over the top, but it doesn't go deep enough. Plant going down in default. Angry X has used his C4. He cannot cover that off, but now Elevate on for the retake. Have man advantage. A narrow miss. Hysterics may get punished, but Jordan doesn't miss his shot. 2 versus 2, and Elevate are on for this retake. DCH, massive performance here against Invictus for that 3v2 retake. They can get the Canada fuse, and one step closer to tying this up.
Bomb defusing attempt failed.
Great retake from Elevate in the end. It did look like it was going to be all IG, honestly, especially once that plant went down. I really thought some of their post-plant positioning was great. Maybe a bit of a misstep though. I didn't see who the player was, but they also rotated in towards Con, even though that angle was kind of already occupied. And ultimately that kind of led to the downfall of being able to hold that for Invictus. But at the end of the day, Elevate booking that round in means they are getting closer to trying to make this comeback work. Time to save it now. You know, they're only 2 rounds away from tying it up, and they might be able to turn this half around.
Savor this moment, Invictus, because Elevate are coming for your lead. Back out of Church and Arsenal room for Elevate. And all things considered, it was fine in the early and mid-round from them. We said, with the, what was it, 30 seconds left on the clock, 5 before execute for Invictus, we said Elevate were favored. Invictus just had such a good execute, and you pointed at some of the Elevate guys saying a couple of whiff shots here and there. I wonder if it's as simple as just don't whiff those shots, give it another crack. Maybe they can win it on the repeat.
Yeah, I mean, they've gone through some big changes in terms of their operator lineup. This is the first time we're seeing them without the Mozzie. We're also seeing a Valkyrie brought in. Also no Goyo this time around, so it seems like they've gone for quite a difference in terms of their strategy and their setup. Angry X looks like he is going to go for quite the roam here. I know. I like the move, you know, keep Invictus Gaming guessing. And it's certainly a very big Elevate thing to do, you know, is if their strategy is to get more aggressive, sure, I think go for it.
I totally agree. I mean, that's just, it's what Elevate have always been known for, right? And I think that if you start to enable some of these playmakers, you know, that's what you need to be doing in a match like this, an important match. I remember speaking to Luna, I think it was last stage, in stage 1, you know, what is it that makes Elevate so good and why do so many teams struggle against them? And he said they have some of the best fraggers and they just leverage that so well. Onigiri and Napier in particular, they're always looking for 1v1s. And Luna said, now the way that we try and beat that is by not giving them 1v1s. Start to make it so every single fight you are taking is like at least 80-20 favored to your side, or that you've got a refrag. Don't give anyone a fair fight, because Elevate are good at winning fair fights. Don't make it fair.
Yeah, I think that's such a great point. And speaking of, Angry X has gone for a very precarious position here in the kitchen, just hiding behind the bench. Waiting to pounce. Also saw Sapper looking to potentially support from the main stairs, and there's Onigiri supporting from storage to find that opening pick.
Exactly what we need to see from them. Little bit of aggression goes a long way when your name is Elevate. And Angry X may well find the same thing here. If IG are distracted with the rest of the map, they may well have a massive mishap here in kitchen, and they do. I cannot even begin to imagine how frustrated Jordan would be after that one. There is a trade, but that is Hibana gone. And Speakeasy's exothermic charge is the only hard breach remaining for Invictus.
Yeah, that's really going to make this attack a lot trickier, and they're also now down a man. They've got 45 seconds to make something work. They have at least got Moto Hatch open. But those Surya gates, again, late round, they do start to be quite the pest. This is a very critical time for Elevate to just hold on and secure this round and keep the pressure on Invictus Gaming.
Oh, but Invictus are not out yet, and Hysterics is stepping up hugely this game. Him and Speakeasy always putting the team on their back. Well, they've got to do it now. Onigiri down but not out. DCH holding the narrow angles. Hysterics and Speakeasy somehow forcing this plant down. Sapper in a 1-on-2, dancing around the trade. Speakeasy, of course. How could it not be him? Invictus steal that round out of nowhere, and they're on match point.
That was crazy. I can't believe that Elevate ended up just losing that, but at the same time I can, because I tell you what, Invictus are just absolutely incredible at dealing with what is being thrown at them. And I guess to your point, Dev, they have already kind of identified what makes Elevate great. They've tried to identify how they can counter that, but I think overall just the team play has started to gel together so well for Invictus Gaming that even in those late round times of chaos, they're just working so well together and adapting, and it's just incredible.
Yeah, there is just nothing you can do with Invictus, right? Like even when Elevate make these aggressive plays, these huge risks, and punish Invictus for taking things for granted, for example, Kitchen being clear, it was not. Invictus still somehow win that. What an adaptation. You really got to back them in. They, on the flip of a switch, can suddenly go from a situation and, you know, a plan being formulated, just like, no, get out of there. Our hopes of executing that plan is dashed. Here's something that we're just going to concoct off the cuff, and it's going to work. It's going to be an adequate solution. It's just the reason why Invictus is seemingly miles ahead of Elevate right now. 3 rounds buffer of match point. Now, it is their map pick, so I don't want to spell death for the series as of yet, but Invictus, they look like they're on point. Elevate, I wish I could say the same.
And look, we do have to, I guess, have a little bit of sympathy, empathy for Elevate, because they've had to bring Angry X back in. And again, look, he's actually doing all right, but at the end of the day, They played a majority of the latter half of Stage 2 with BG Man.
5 seconds
It was
left
a
before insertion.
big factor in them even turning around the stage because they did have a rough start.
Attackers
On top of the fact, he's also been playing quite well in playoffs. So, look, it's certainly got to have had an effect on them. They also just recently lost that game to Demon Kia. It's been rough. So, I'm not too surprised that they are struggling here, but I guess the saving grace is, this is Invictus's map pick, like you said, Dev. They can still look towards map 2 in this series to still turn it around.
Oh, well, DCH has been having a struggle. That said, nice refrag from Napew. And once again, we see Elevate leaning into this aggressive playstyle. They want these gunfights. They don't want this to just be a basic and normal round for Invictus. They want chaos.
Dude, chaos is coming. Joe is about to round this corner. Right into Angry X's scope. C4 isn't going to hit the mark. This is a very, very important engagement, and it has gone the way of IG. So already one man in the disadvantage for Elevate here. They've only got 3 left to try and deal with this. Onigiri, he's still hanging out at the top of the red stairs. A drone about to come his way. I don't know, Dev. This feels very scary.
Oh no, Napew, surely he's about to lose his life. Pre-fire from Luna and Napew backs away. Onigiri is the playmaker here, Raven. He's the one who's got to do something. Man disadvantage, Elevate, as you said, not a lot of utility on site that's really going to slow him down. The lack of a Thatcher isn't going to be a big deal. And that is just perfect team play from IG. They cut off the rotation. Onigiri read like a book. 2 versus 4.
That's the thing, there's only one way he's going to be able to go that's efficient. He's not going to go back through bar because, of course, main stairs is covered. Probably not going to go through garage, also likely covered. So just really well read and cut off by Invictus Gaming. Now, Sapper and Napew have a lot of pressure on them right now. To save map 1 of the series, they need to come up big in a 2v4 situation.
This round and this map is Invictus's to lose. Speakeasy in dirt. Elevate under the pump. Invictus shaping up for a strong execute, completely surrounding and suffocating the remaining Elevate players. What a read and what a play from Speakeasy. Napew, the man, is in a 1v4 and he sends it up the main stairs. No doubt a drone will be watching for this, but it doesn't matter when he can land shots like that. Luna off the diffuser. And now he relocates, but with that play, with that drone, they know that Napew is upstairs and he's only got a couple of ways back to the site. 1v3 on for the retake. I don't know how many QEs you're going to have to do to make this winnable, mate. Invictus look like they may have locked in map number 1 here in the lower bracket final. And one huge leap closer to the Mexico Major. For the underdogs, they've been running the lower bracket and they run straight over Elevate into map 2.
Incredible effort from Invictus Gaming. They really never looked like they were going to lose that from that first half all the way through to the 3 attack wins in the second half. Incredible stuff from them. Now this is where it gets very intense. Pressure on both sides. Invictus Gaming, of course, they've got pressure to close this out, secure their major invite. They're no strangers to that though. They've done that before. Conversely though, Elevate are still yet to participate in international